In today's video, we're going to be going over how you can write the perfect proposal to land freelance projects, as well as if you're applying to, let's say, a normal job or a remote position, how you can use these tips to write the best cover letter so you can get hired. So let's get right into it. And the first part of writing the perfect proposal and the perfect cover letter is to focus on the introduction. Your introduction is vital to the entire proposal, for your cover letter, and for what the client sees, because this is the first thing they're going to see when they get your proposal in the door. And if this doesn't capture their attention, it doesn't make them want to read more, that will set the tone for the rest of your proposal. So if they see that first couple sentences and it just kind of sounds bland, doesn't really catch their interest, that severely hurts your chances of actually landing that job. So that goes into, how do you even write a good introduction? How do you capture the client's attention before you even get into your full proposal? And the answer is, you need to understand the client. What is important to them? Try to read the job description in as much detail as you can. And from there, try to find out what the most important thing is to that client, and then work that into the introduction. So there's a lot of different ways to do that, but in order to really think outside of the box, a lot of times you want to think about what the competition is doing and try to go one step above what they're doing. Try to be a little bit clever in that introduction. And remember, if this doesn't help you get on that good side of the client immediately, the rest of your proposal is wasted. So all of the time you put into creating the entire proposal, it doesn't matter if you don't nail that intro down. So when you're just starting out, of course, you're not going to know what the best intro is, but once you start to try out different things and you start to figure out what is important to each specific client, that's when you can start to find your own style. And once you start to find what works out for you, you can start to replicate that, but of course, tailor it to each specific job that you're sending a proposal out to. And in that introduction, you also want to be very careful, because I see this in a lot of freelance jobs, especially on Upwork. Clients know that people are just copying and pasting a lot of proposals out. And because of this, a lot of times at the end of the job description, they will mention something very specific that they want to see you say in the introduction. This could actually just be a word. I had one client who wrote, put the word avocado in the first sentence, just to show me that you read this whole job description. That's the easiest way to show that, okay, you actually read the description, you put the word avocado in there, and it automatically shows the client that you read the full description. You didn't just breeze through it. You're not just copying and pasting a million proposals. But they don't always do that, of course. But what they will do is they will shed some light on what's important to them, what their goals are. So use that in that introduction to capture their attention. Then what you want to do is you want to show off that you have some skills, you have some expertise as it relates to what they want to get done. Now, this is also very important, because once you've kind of hooked them in with the intro, now you have to back it up. And you don't want to go overboard here. You don't want to sound like you're bragging. That's one of the biggest things I see. One of the largest mistakes, actually, in a cover letter is just going on and on about yourself. Remember, the client doesn't really care about you. They care about the problem they need solved. They care about the person that they want to hire. Are they going to be able to help them solve that problem? So every single thing that you mention about your skill set, make sure it's only relating to the job. So if you're applying to a job to help someone with YouTube advertising, don't mention Facebook ads. Don't mention blog writing. Keep it very specific based on what the client needs done, and let them know that you have the skills and the expertise to help them accomplish that. Now, kind of walking this fine line between being arrogant and kind of just showing them that you are the right person for the job, it can be a balancing act. But once again, just like with the introduction, you're going to start to find your groove once you start to have some success, once you start to see what clients like to hear from you based on the type of jobs you're reaching out to. Then you can start to replicate that and tweak it for each job that you apply to. So once you started to show off your skills a little bit more, you let them know that you have expertise in the exact areas that they're asking, and you don't keep it so spread out and go off into tangents about things that aren't related to the job. That's when you can then back it up with showing off some of your past work examples. Now, I'm a big believer in creating case studies, because a case study shows the client that you don't only have experience, but you've put it together in a format that shows the results that you've helped other clients achieve. Clients don't just want to know, oh, I worked on this type of project before. They want to know what the results were. They want to know how much value you added in numerical terms. So whether that's how much money you made a client, how many more followers you helped them get, how many views you helped them receive, how much engagement, all of that stuff is what the client wants to see when you're sharing your work examples. And keep this short and sweet. I like to keep it to 1 to 2 work examples in your proposal. You don't want to go overboard. So pick the best jobs that you did in the past that relate exactly to what the client wants to get done. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, hey, well, I don't have any past experience, well, you know what? Everyone has to start somewhere. Every single marathon starts with that initial step. So don't let that discourage you, but what you can do is focus a little bit more on the previous step, showing off the skills, your knowledge of the skill set that you have, and that will help you get those first couple clients. You can focus on some smaller projects or jobs, and then from there, you can use those as your work experience moving forward. And that's why also finding the best jobs for you based on your skill set is so important, because if you're working on projects that are just scattered all over the place, you're not going to be able to cherry pick the best work examples to land future projects. So always be thinking a couple steps ahead. You don't just want to find out a job and just apply to it just to get a couple bucks. You want to think about your future, your career that you're building with every single job that you get. And then what you want to do is focus on questions. Now, the first way to do this is for you to answer all of the unasked questions that the client didn't ask in their job description. And a lot of times clients will put a couple questions out there, but they won't put it all out there. So you can also go above and beyond, especially to try to stand out from the competition, right? Because that's what you're doing. You're going against dozens, if not, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 other proposals sometimes. And sometimes people say, oh, don't even apply to a job that has over 15 proposals. But in the world we live in today, you're definitely going to have to learn how to cut through the noise. Because if you only just cherry pick the jobs that are just posted, that is a great strategy and you do want to use speed, but you can't always rely on that. If a perfect job comes up for you, you're the best fit, but it has too many proposals in your mind already. Don't let that discourage you. It's a numbers game. You need to put yourself out there in order to get hired, because if you don't, you'll never get the job anyway. It's just like that quote, right? You miss all of the shots that you don't take. So even if a job has a lot of competition, that might be a good thing. That might be because it's a very high paying role with a client that has good experience. So you want to go above and beyond, answer those unasked questions. That will really show the client that you're going to that next step. You're answering questions that they didn't even ask, but you know that are relevant for the job. And then one of the best ways to finish off any proposal or to finish off any cover letter is to ask questions yourself. This shows the client that you're not just kissing up to them. You're not just saying, hey, I want to work for you so bad, please hire me. But you're also turning the tables back on them. You're seeing, are they the right fit for you? And you can ask a couple different questions. One of the best questions I like to ask, if the client doesn't specifically notate this in the description, is asking them, how are we going to be measuring success? That shows the client, okay, well, this person actually knows what they're talking about. They want to know exactly what my goals are. Do I want to get a 3x ROI? Do I want to hit a certain amount of followers? What is exactly the success metric we're going to be basing this on? That will show the client that you're there to actually add value. And some other questions you can ask them are specifically related to the job post. So if they say that they want to increase, let's say, their website's traffic, but they don't list the website out there, ask them, hey, what's your website? I'd love to check it out before we get on a call, before you ask me for an interview. You can kind of assume the sale here a little bit. That's one of the big things in sales and marketing. You don't want to come off as too arrogant, but you also want to let them know that you're open to talking, you're open for the interview, but you have questions, and those questions are going to help you come into that interview the most prepared possible. Because let's say they don't include their website and then they do answer you and say, oh, hey, this is my website, go check it out, I'd love to talk. Now, before you go into that actual interview, you have so much ammo that you can use that you didn't have previously. You can go to their website, you can see what they're doing well, what they're not doing well, and start to craft that into the perfect message for them. Because one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they focus it all on themselves, they focus all on their achievements, and like we said, the clients don't necessarily care about that. They want to know, can you get the job done? And by asking them questions back, it also gives them more of a reason to reach back out to you. And once the client has reached back out to you initially, boom, there you go. That line of communication is open, and that is vital because you can be aggressive. You can message them back now. You can follow up with them. You can try to get their number, their email, and from there, that opens up the whole line of communication. Whereas with a lot of other proposals, they just go unread, or let's say it's a great proposal, but they didn't ask any questions at the end. There's no call to action. It's easy to kind of just put that proposal to the side, and then if the next one comes up and they're asking all these great questions, the client wants to get back to you on them. So these are a lot of ways you can start to help craft a better proposal that helps you land freelance projects, as well as if you're going for a more typical job position, how you can write cover letters that actually get opened and that help get you a response. Now, if this kind of stuff is helpful for you, I have a course on this on the ZTM Academy, which walks you through the entire freelance sales process. Sending the proposal out is just one step in this process, but building a rockstar profile, finding the best jobs, having to weed out the worst jobs, and then once you even get the client on the phone, how to sell the client, how to bundle your services together, how to turn them into recurring clients, and then ultimately how to build a profitable freelancing business. That's what this course teaches, and if you sign up for the ZTM Academy, you also get access to all of their other courses. A lot of them are on the coding side of the spectrum, but they've also opened the doors to more business courses, just like my freelancing course. So if you're interested, click the link in the description to check out the ZTM Academy. You can learn much more about how to build a profitable freelance business. But even if you don't do that, try to use some of these tips, tricks, and hacks in your proposals to help you land more freelancing clients and to land more jobs. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. I'm cranking out videos about all the freelancing topics, what's in demand, how to work from home, how to make money online, and ultimately how to create lifestyle freedom. Also, please hit the thumbs up button. It helps more people just see the video in the algorithm. Leave a comment down below if any of this has helped you. And remember, it's a numbers game. So if you send out a couple proposals and it's not working, there's one of two things that is happening. Either number one, you're writing great proposals, but you just haven't sent enough out. Don't get discouraged if you haven't really put in the work yet. Or number two, you're not doing it the right way. Your proposals are too bland and they're not getting the client's attention. So try to figure out which boat you're in if you're not having success and use that to reverse engineer where you can have more success. Until the next one, my name is Paul Mendez with Profitable Freelancer, and hope you have a great day. Do you want to be free? Do you want to have the freedom to be able to work when you want, where you want, and have the freedom to be your own boss and to make money for yourself? Welcome to the Complete Guide to Freelancing 0 to Mastery. In this course, I will show you that freelancing is your ticket to this life, and I'm so excited to show you step by step how to become a successful and profitable freelancer. Studies show that freelancing is already one of the largest sectors of the economy and is continuing to see huge growth year over year. Whether you want to become a full-time freelancer or simply freelance as a side hustle to start, I'll show you that freelancing is an extremely sustainable and lucrative business. My name is Paul Mendez, and 5 years ago, I decided that I had enough of the 9-to-5 corporate grind and I wanted to live my life to the fullest on my own terms. I'm now one of the top-rated freelancers on Upwork, and I coach individuals on growing their own freelancing careers. I'm going to walk you through every step needed for you to become a profitable freelancer with explosive growth by showing you the tricks of the trade to beat out the competition and ensure you land the most exciting and highest-paying freelancing jobs, all starting with setting you up and optimizing your profile on the world's largest online freelancing marketplace. And if you think you don't have the skills that companies would pay you for, I promise you, you are wrong. In this course, I'm even going to teach you how to quickly master the fastest growing skills that companies hire freelancers for all the time. This way, you can go from 0 to mastery in freelancing and find your freedom. Welcome to the Complete Guide to Freelancing 0 to Mastery, and I look forward to seeing you inside.